Hello, I am Michael Lighten, writer of science fiction and poetic works. I am reading 8 sections from Care Teaching for a New World. Each section will have its own part so that you can hear how the writing flows and see if you have interest. This reading will consist of subsection 3, Harbingers for a New World. So this reading will be for preface for this section of the book will handle people who become, who came before us. These people are called harbingers. We are quickly moving into a new world, and this section is an encouragement, a reminder of what harbingers do and how we can help them to achieve their mission to make this a better world. True harbingers are rebels. A rebel does not have to be a militant. There are many ways to rebel. All of them do not need violence. Best rebellion is where the least violence is used. True harbingers are rebels. We must be rebellious sometimes for our dignity and rights to be protected. To become too much relaxation is dangerous, especially within these changing times. The writing of this book is a form of rebellion. The reading and understanding of this book are forms of rebellion. All harbingers are latecomers, as if just arriving in the middle of a movie or near the end. Harbingers are born to a place where the script has already been written and the movies played. It is the harbinger's duty to change the script so the movie can have a better ending. In this sense, all of us are harbingers, for we are all born before somebody else, and somebody is always born before us. But it is the responsibility that matters. We are willing to take charge of our lives and thus take responsibility for the children. All harbingers are researchers. To be a researcher requires patience and clarity of intent. Harbingers must know what they are researching, and with this intention, the research project begins to come to light. The inner research, as one dwells within on many aspects of the self. The outer research, as one dwells in the libraries, bookstores, and recorded interviews on a specific subject. It appears the inner research is greater than the outer research, but it's through the outer research that the inner research is triggered. Through being curious, we begin to ask the right questions, and thus the right answers bring us to luminosity. Through luminosity, harbingers do not advertise a clarified state, but live in the clear and sincere intentions. This clarified state is the intention or research. Harbingers and their racial identity. No harbinger who feels responsible for the world is steeped in the discrimination of other ethnic origins besides their own. These actions are from people who live in a charade of hatred for humanity. And the way these people know how to display this hatred without exposing themselves as hate mongers is through acts of violence, intimidation, and name calling of other ethnically different people than themselves. All true harbingers understand and accept their ethnicity, but are not prone to advertise this fact or constantly toss this fact at others, because it is not ethnicity that is most important, but love that is most important. Ever know of anybody that can stop constantly toss love at others? Responsibilities of the harbingers are now being born for our children, our nieces and nephews. We have taken responsibility of their survival. Ever see a child in bitter tears? Those with compassion will immediately feel sadness for them as if we were bitter. These bitter tears are usually perpetrated by their parents, usually unknowingly, and these scars perpetrated by these parents are difficult to heal. So comes the use for psychologists, psychiatrists, and counselors. Only way our children can be healed is through love. But for this love to be expressed properly, there must be sincerity of heart and a clarified mind, which brings this expression of love in its proper form. Child molestation comes from a warped mind that is dull with lust and a heart filled with insincere intentions. These warped expressions of what is perceived as love are causing the rise in child molestations worldwide. It is not particularly society that is the cause of this rise in sexual perverseness, but the way individuals have been taught about expressions of love from abuse, strict disciplinary measures, and all those expressions that put upon the child as an expressions of hardness and sternness. Responsibility of the proper expressions of love can be taught to children through a flower or a bird in flight, something simple, compassionate. We, the harbingers, must be re educated in our expressions of love. Our young can then be properly educated. The cycle of perverseness against the children will decline and end, and humanity will be all the better for it. Harbingers need understanding. There's a lot of confusion on the street. This is the age of confusion. Whole societies, a whole nation of people is not sure which direction to go. Confusion comes from uncertainty, and uncertainty comes from obscurity, and obscurity is born from mental cloudiness, a lack of clarity. Harbingers need to be clear on their intentions in life, clear on their purpose. Then the mind becomes clear through the heart being clear. All intentions come from the heart. Without intention, the mind is unsure of which direction it thinks to go. Confusion sets in. The unconfused mind is backed by clear intention. This means a path from the heart to the mind, and the body and life comply. Each person has their own level of perception or understanding. Understanding is the clarified perception of things. As long as an individual remains within a level of perception, then the confusion is kept at bay. But the moment an individual leaves a level of perception, confusion, dementia, and eventually insanity ensues. Harbingers need not let others persuade them where they do not wish to go, in relationships, studies, or meditations. Harbingers need resilience. We, the harbingers, are the path when it comes to society's way, but not the path in love. Love can only be found through love. The expressions of love are what harbingers can perform. And it's through these expressions of love that children learn from example. To express this love properly, harbingers need resilience. Resilience comes from determination, and determination comes from a clear purpose. And the clear purpose comes from reason. If we have reason, which comes from the mind, the body will follow. But if the heart does not shine openly with love, mind cannot be transformed into love. The only thing that persona will give is an excuse for not getting the mission done. Harbingers need resilience in the cold and the heat, and all of this without complaint, for the mission to shine brightly through them. Children may cry and complain, but many adults cry and complain, for they have not matured from when they were children. They have not been properly taught how best to deal with troubled times. In order for harbingers to pave the way properly, we must stop complaining and stand tall in any situation. Dignity comes with an erect spine and a firm step, with steady eyes and unwavering voice. Harbingers in trouble, surrounded by a shield of light, a harbinger can walk through a war zone and not come to harm. The performance of this feat would not be for advertisement of this power, for that is clear arrogance and egoism. The shield of light, which is filled with colors, comes from the protection of love, and if need be, this protection is strengthened in times of danger. See the colors projected around your persona, or see clear light around your persona and within your person. Clear light has no color and is not a white light, simply a clear light. Within the realm of sincerity, the harbinger is protected in this light. The deeper the sincerity, the stronger protection. Saving the children. The pangs that our children go through in maturing to adults come not from any mischievous events that our young may be steeped in. Being mischievous is part of being a child. But this suffering our young go through comes from the very adults who claim to love them. Many of us are filled with rigid rules from yesteryear, many of them destructive to any individual who is attempting to grow. And if there is growth through hard work and grueling sacrifice, then there are societal blocks which attempt to make the trip upward, as in economics and education, harder to achieve. If there is some gain, as in economics and education, then there is almost always the destruction of the spirit that is attempting to achieve, so that individual has no more desire to achieve anything else. If an individual, such as a child, is taught, disciplined, told not to use the inner self of intuition, then the child's spirit is broken, or the desire to achieve is destroyed. In the absence of this desire, another lesser desire is replaced by the greater desire, and the child becomes less of themselves through the broken spirit, a destroyed desire. The lesser desire, which replaces the greater desire, is what causes the child's misery. And if this desire is destroyed through some outside distress or inner turmoil, then another lesser desire replaces the former, and the child is even more miserable. To remove the child from this misery, the teachers and parents must understand the descent of the many aspects of the self into varieties of hells. And the teacher and parent must know how to assist the child in raising themselves from this hellish descent only by being examples and living life of love. When the example is lived, then will society conform to the new rules, and all block in achievement will be removed, and thus the children's suffering is diminished until it ebbs away and becomes no more. Then creativity can flourish around the world, about the universe. Brief letter directed to the light bearers. Who are the light bearers? These are the people who care and love others and desire not to turn away from other light bearers. The light bearers do favors, not for money or fame, for love. The time is ripe for light bearers to make suggestions, ideas, comments, opinions where warranted, and to circulate these thoughts and feelings unto others who desire it. Through this method, we can shake the throne of darkness and slumber to awaken the masses into awesome brilliance. Within each of us are the seeds of love waiting to sprout. There is much for us to do. So, come on, let's do it. Special letter to the masses. This part of the book was written from the core of love in my heart. I went through extreme emotional, mental anguish as this work was being formed. But the light of love would not falter, and I plowed on with this work. For years it sat on the shelf until a friend was interested in some poetry from me. I relented, and this work was compiled. I trust that you take something away that can help you in life. I know I learned from the compilation of this work. God bless you all. The next section will be quotes and thoughts on the nine attributes, so I'll hold on that. I hope you enjoy that read. The full book is auto narrated with a much kinder voice on Google Play Books for 99 cents. In the works, there are two more in development. It's a science fiction thriller called The Forgotten Case of Rain, and the other is a practical guide to living called Communications in Love. Chief Said Works, Amazon.com, GooglePlaybooks.com, and Drafted Digital, which is connected to Barnes & Noble and Apple Books and various other books under Drafted Digital. I have all these in the show notes below. The website is www.peoplestillread.com, and they do. This is Michael Light, and I will connect with you in the next audio.